What's going on, guys? So in this video, what I'm actually going to talk about is how I went from zero to generating my first $1 million online. And if you don't know who I am or what I do, my name is Fanuel, and over the past 3 years, I've been able to generate multi-million dollars selling products online, and to be more specific, dropshipping products. And if you don't know what dropshipping products is to put it in simple terms, it's pretty much being a middleman between a supplier and a buyer. And what you do is you set up an online store and you list some products from a wholesale supplier like AliExpress, mainly sourced in China, and you go ahead and list the product at a higher price point. Let's say you see a product that you can get for $3, you go ahead and list the product on your site for $15, $20, and when a customer comes and buys the product for $20, you go ahead and buy the product for $3 and have the supplier ship the product directly to the customer. That way you don't have to, hold inventory or have employees or have this like crazy back end. You can pretty much run this by yourself. So that's exactly how I've been able to do this over the past 3 years. And I'm gonna show you in this video is how I got started, the first few products that actually sold, and I'm gonna show you the process of what it took to get to that $1 million mark. So with that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so what you see on my screen is actually the back end of my online store. So I started this store in 2017. This is actually my first store I ever started. And as you can see on my screen, I started around July. That's when I actually came across dropshipping, what it was. So I spent a good amount of time researching, learning how to build a site because I had no idea about how to do this. So I figured that out, and at the end of July, I pretty much finished the site and everything was ready. And August is when I actually launched the store. So as you can see right here, I made $814 my first month of doing dropshipping, selling products online. And the way I did it is actually by giving away the product for free. You might be asking, hey, how does that even work? How do you make $814 if you're giving away the product for free? And the way that I do it is by doing what's called a free plus shipping offer. If you're not familiar with a free plus shipping offer, it's pretty much saying, hey, go ahead and get this product for free. All you have to do is just pay a small fee for the shipping, right? So typically you charge around $8, $9 for the shipping, but the only thing that you have to pay attention to is that you need to find a product that's under $4 or $3. So if you can find a product from AliExpress with shipping to the customer that costs less than $4 or $3, you can do that. And when people come and get the product, you pretty much charge them $8, but you're getting the product shipped to the customer, including the product cost, for under $4 or $3. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have around $6 to $5 of profit. And that's exactly how I was able to do this. And the best part about this is people love free stuff, and people were just taking on this offer really well. And actually, when I first started, I was so pumped that I told all my friends, like, yo, I launched my first store. Can you please help me promote the product? And if you're watching this, to the homies that actually helped me promote it, really appreciate you. Posted on their Instagram stories, their Snapchat and everything. I was so pumped. And that's exactly how I was able to make $814 pretty much the first few days of launching, right? The best part about that too, since I didn't really pay for the promotion and all of that, and also since it's free plus shipping offer, majority of this was my profit. So around 70% of what you see on the screen, the $814, is actually my profit. I was after I made that $814, I was super pumped. I was like, yes, I'm gonna be a millionaire, great. So I went ahead and instead of, I don't know why I did this, but instead of doubling down on a product that worked for me, I tried to go ahead and try to sell a different product. So what I ended up doing is look for Instagram influencer, and I actually found this product. I came across this product on Facebook. I was like, yo, this is amazing. I didn't even do a research on it, see the demand for the product. I was like, yo, I really like this product. I think it's gonna make a killing. So let me go ahead and promote this product. So I paid this influencer around $300, and the product was actually this hair bun maker that cost very cheap, but I wanted to sell that, so I paid the influencer $300. So that's off of what I made in profit from this first launch. And guess what? I ended up making only one sale. As you can see right here, I ended up making one sale after spending $300. So I was, super discouraged. I was like, oh, God damn it. Now I lost pretty much the majority of my profit that I made from this store. So at that point, I actually had a few jobs. So I was working at PetSmart as a dog bather, and I was also working as a food delivery driver. After I lost majority of the profit that I made, I was like, okay, cool. Now that I've learned my lesson, I'm gonna go ahead and try to make as much money as I can to put back into the business. So I went ahead and start working all day, every night on delivery driving, and I actually quit from my PetSmart job because I was making more money doing delivery driving. I did that, and that's why you see like I shot up in August over here, and then it kind of died down the entire month, right? So once I, collected some amount of money, put it aside to put back into the business and, do it the right way. The next month, actually, if you go from September 1st to the 30th, I ended up making $4,324 my second month of dropshipping, right? As you can see, like I didn't do much, and then I started, I would say like mid-September, and then, it kind of shot up. So at that point, I was doing a few products actually. So one of the products was still the watch. The other product was a charcoal teeth whitening, if you've seen in the past. And also the third product was I was selling the black mask. If you've seen it, it's a mask that you put on it and then you peel it, and then it helps you get rid of stuff that's on your pores. So those were the products that I was actually doing. So the next month, as you can see, is October. In October, my third month, I made $9,623. And throughout this process, I was actually using Instagram influencers. I didn't really do any Facebook ads or anything like that. I was focused on Instagram influencers. I was messaging a lot of influencers. I actually found one that really worked for me. So I was actually doing multiple shout outs every single week, and I was super profitable. The best part about, having a really good influencer is that, you're gonna be able to make a good amount of money if they have quality audience, because, your ad cost is not a lot, and if your product cost is also on the lower end, your margins are gonna be much higher. So my margins were definitely over 50% October. So as you can see, let's see October, let's go to November. From $9,000 in actually November, I went to $27,978 in 1 month. And that's when I was actually using multiple influencers and keep pushing those products. And actually this is the month that I found one of my winning products that actually made me over $1 million. I'm not actually gonna show that product. The reason why is because we still sell it to this day. We just built a brand around the product, and actually, did really well, did multi-million dollars with just that one product. Probably not gonna show you that. So November, I made 27,000, close to 30,000 to be honest. December, I went ahead, let's see what I did in December 1st to 31st. So December 1st to 31st actually went down to 13,415. And the reasoning for that is because I had some issues. When I first got started, I did everything myself. I fulfilled the product myself. I was the customer service rep. I was everything. I was so spread thin. So at that point, I was not really being on time in terms of fulfillment, and I had some issues with suppliers and all of that. So that kind of set me back a little bit. So in December, that's why the sales kind of declined. So that's the point when I actually hired virtual assistants to help me with customer service, fulfillment, and at that point, I was using my own debit card to place orders, and then there was a point where I was making like 100 purchases a day on AliExpress, because that's exactly how you do it. You get the product from AliExpress and get it shipped to the customer. So I was having multiple transactions, and my bank was freaking out. I was like, yo, dude, what are you doing? Are you getting scammed, or actually the one doing it? So I had to call my bank multiple times to let me use my actual cards. And that's actually when I figured out, hey, if I'm doing all of this, maybe I should get a credit card to get the perks like cashback and points from the card. As you can see, that's what we did in December. So next year, 2018, January, so we went from $13,000 to $30,647. And at that point, I was still using influencers. But one of the things that I faced, after a while, is I have to constantly reach out to them and asking them to do a promo and all that stuff. And it was kind of tiring, right? I didn't really have anyone to do that. So I was the one DMing influencers every single day, and some of them majority of them don't actually respond to you. And actually at some point I actually got scammed by an influencer, so I paid her around a few $100s. The crazy part is I've done a few shout outs with her, but this one time I paid her $300, and then she just disappeared. I was like, yo, I hit her up where's my post, where's the shout out? Never respond to me. And I actually paid her through Cash App. So if you do dropshipping and use influencers, never use Cash App or Venmo. Never use those. Always use PayPal to pay them, because at the end of the day, if they don't actually post whatever promo that you have, contact PayPal and get your money back. So never use Cash App or Venmo. But I did use Cash App because I was so comfortable with her, because I've worked with her for so long. That's why I did it. Biggest mistake. So what ended up happening is I ended up disputing that transaction, and until this day, I'm banned from Cash App because I disputed that transaction. So that's when I actually looked into Facebook marketing. So February 2018, went back to 11,000 again. Let's go to March. So in March, it went from 11,000 to $97,000 in a month. So that was my biggest month ever. I was shocked, right? I was so happy, and this is when I actually used Facebook. So the good thing about using Facebook ads is the scalability is there, right? With influencers, you can only do so much, right? If the influencer has like 100,000 followers or 200,000 followers, those are like a percentage of those people are what you're gonna reach. But with Facebook ads, you can reach as many people as possible as you want, right? So that's the beauty about Facebook ads, and that's how I was able to go from like 11,000 to 97,000 in a month. Go to April. So April I actually upped my game, and from 97,000 I went to $111,000 in a month. Obviously, this is not all profit. At that point, when I started using Facebook ads and all, my profit margin was around 30 to 40%. This is not all profit, as you can see. Looking back, like I always used to think like making 6 figures a month like seemed impossible, right? I used to watch YouTube videos and be like, yo, how do they even make like 30,000 a month? Like it sounded like way too crazy for me. So in May, 74,000. So as you can see, it kind of like stay consistent. So, and one of the biggest months that I had was around like Q4. So if you look back, let's look at August 1st to 31st. I actually made $226,000 in a month. And let's see, if you go in September, let's look at September right here. September, I did 128,000. Let's look at October right here. October, I also did 101,000. One of the biggest months that I ever had in 2018 is November, right? So November 1st to 30th, I actually ended up doing $269,000 in 1 month in sales, which was insane to me at that point, right? So that led me to making my first $1 million. So if you look at the entire 2018 right here, let's look from January to December 2018. And as you can see, this is real results, real thing that I've done. So from January 1st to December 31st, I ended up making $1.3 million in sales with around 30-40% margin. So that was freaking awesome, right? I made my first $1 million. I was super pumped, you know. Ever since then, I've been growing my business. And that's exactly how I got from, zero to making 7 figures. Obviously, it didn't happen overnight. It took over a year to do so. But, one of the things that I really learned out of doing this is starting off like, 7 figures or making like 6 figures a month looks and sounds very like unreachable, right? But you really have to understand, if anyone like me, like I literally started with nothing. I didn't have any understanding of dropshipping. I was, I didn't have any background in regards to that. But if I was able to do it, then you're gonna be able to do it too. So looking back to, when I actually started to, me making my first $1 million and then later on making multiple more millions, is that, mindset really does play a huge part into, having a really successful business. It's not just about, your product or, your advertising. It's not just all about that, but it's about mindset, right? You just have to believe that you can make it happen. You just have to be consistent above all. So if I really quit after my first month of, losing some money here and there, I would never be able to make my first $1 million. I would never be able to, change mine and my family's life forever, right? I would have never been able to do that. And that's what happens with majority of people starting off. So what happens is like, when majority of people start and they have some failure or, some roadblocks, they end up giving up, right? And that's the worst part to do. If you actually stay consistent above all, and then whatever, if you fail, keep going. Like at the end of the day, like if I can do it, if others, not just me, but there's multiple hundreds and thousands of other people making crazy amounts of money from, starting their own business, starting their own, whatever business it is, there's hundreds and thousands of people that are doing it. So if they can do it, you can do it too. So I think mindset really does play a huge part into, making this happen, and consistency above all, right? Because at the end of the day, if you give up, you'll never be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So another thing that I've learned out of this is, all it takes to really change everything is one product. One product is that helped me, go from, making hundreds here and there to making over $1 million, right? So that's also one thing that I want you to understand is like all it takes is one product to change everything, right? So if you fail with 10 products, 20 products, 30 products, keep going. Because at the end of the day, like I said, all it takes is one product to completely change everything.